very, very much. Just begin by telling us what Holocaust Memorial Day really means to you.
Well, this week, actually, as well as being Holocaust Memorial Day, is the day that of the week of the anniversary of my grandmother's death. She was on an exchange that Himmler had arranged out of Belsen concentration camp. She saw her girls, my mother and her two sisters, to freedom. They came across the border to Switzerland, and on the night that she came across the border, she died of starvation and disease, and that was actually in this week. So when my family commemorates Holocaust Memorial Day, we always think particularly of Greta, of my mother's mother. This was the time of year also that my mother, who's no longer alive either, was particularly busy speaking to schools, making sure the next generation learned about the Holocaust.
And of course, one of the messages to come out of Holocaust Memorial is that never again message. Do you think, as time has gone on, the impact of that never again message has, stayed with society, or do you think it's actually waned?
I do think that more than 10 years ago, I'm more worried now about the preservation of democratic norms and the rule of law throughout the Western world. And this particular thing arose with me when Donald Trump got elected president of the United States, but you can see it throughout the world with Putin and with Erdogan in Turkey, right through with Viktor Orban in Hungary, with the Law and Justice Party in Poland, whereas maybe 10 or 20 years ago there'd been a kind of rise in liberal democratic norms all over the world. Now I think that's more vulnerable. So I think it's particularly important to remind ourselves what happens when those norms get eroded.
Well, indeed, and it is, obviously, of course, it's that kind of constant concern, isn't it, that it could, in some way, shape or form, happen again. We're seeing a rise, anyway, in recorded cases, anyway, of anti-Semitism right here, though. The reason there was one last night, was attacked last night, is believed to be potentially a hate crime. I mean, it certainly looks that way. I've seen some of the video footage of it. Two Orthodox Jewish men in Stamford Hill attacked by someone as he walked past. Are you concerned that actually there is an increase in anti-Semitism right here?
Yeah, I absolutely am. And one of the things that is interesting is that my grandfather, my mother's father, who founded the Wiener Holocaust Library. He wasn't a Zionist. He believed that Jews could remain in Germany, and they had this kind of row. The Zionists said, if we don't get out of Germany, they're going to kill us all. And my grandfather said, if you go to Palestine, the Palestinians won't accept you there. And the great tragedy of Jews is they both turned out to be right. Before the war, there were all these signs over Europe, Jews go to Palestine, and now there are signs all over the walls in Europe, Jews get out of Palestine. And I think there are a lot of Jews who do worry about this again. Look, Jews are they're only one grouping in society. The issue of racial tolerance and understanding the experience of others has got to extend to others. So we should use Holocaust Memorial Day also to remember lots of other people who have been oppressed. We should use it to reflect to ourselves the things that we could do better, and that goes for Jews as well as anybody else. So I don't, though it's a day when I'm grateful that people remember what my mother went through. I think it's also a day when I try hard to remember what other people have gone through, to try to make myself a sort of better person, and to be more protective of democratic norms and racial equality.